All right, guys, we're going to start the program here in a matter of moments. Take a look at the screen for today's headlines. Take a look at the screen for today's headlines. We'll get rocking and rolling. We would love if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. In fact, we have found that YouTube is the most consistent of all the platforms to watch the show upon. And you can still offer your comments in the feed, and I will relay them live on air. J-Dubs, I'm going to confirm LinkedIn here in a matter of moments. We are live on Twitter and YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn, J-Dubs. Excellent work. I'm going to ask you which headline is most intriguing to you. If you want to go with the e-bike voucher headline, I'm totally fine with that. If it's one of the headlines that did not make the rundown, I can adapt to your commentary. I think you suggested the e-bike voucher, and was it the retail weed story? Is that what your suggestions were? Okay. So, I mean, if you want to go with e-bike voucher or retail weed as the most compelling headlines for you, I'm fine, and I can listen to learn from you. We're going to be talking about on today's program, John Blair, thank you for watching the program, a couple of fantastic new businesses that are set to open. I like them because they offer stuff to do for families with kids. Rock Revolution, a climbing gym on Old Ivy Road. That's going to be extremely promising. I'm extremely excited for Rock Revolution. I'm extremely excited for CVille Smash, the indoor pickleball facility opening later this year in the old Marshalls location. No, both of the owners of Rock Revolution and CVille Smash well. And I think both offer activities for families with kids or just families in general that are not tied to screens. That excites me. Getting kids off screens. Like and share the show. We want to remind you tomorrow we have a interview with Subtext Executive Vice President of Development, Mitch Corte. He's going to join us to talk about the Verve apartment behemoth that's coming to Charlottesville in the near future. 729,000 square feet, 463 apartments, 1,332 beds. Oh my, oh my, oh my. We'll talk about that on today's program. We'll talk on today's program, guys, the best use for the Blue Moon Diner. The Blue Moon Diner continues to be available for rent. It's a lot of promise, a lot of upside. Three fantastic brokers have this leasing listing. Matt Green's excellent at his job. The vice president from Tallheimer, Josie Williams, she's primed to get a promotion. She's doing a hell of a job, Josie Williams. And Jenny Stoner, the talented senior vice president, are looking to lease the Blue Moon Diner location. I want to talk about some of its best uses on today's program. How about the story from Wall Street? Goldman Sachs is launching an AI assistant for employees. And the crazy thing about this AI assistant that's coming for employees, Goldman Sachs's chief information officer is already highlighting the fact that artificial intelligence in the very near future could start replacing a large portion of the workforce at Goldman Sachs. Just a crazy story. Artificial intelligence is learning the Goldman way, which is prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen, for artificial intelligence. If you're in the business of managing projects, responding to client emails, and doing basic tasks that could be replaced by artificial intelligence. In a lot of ways, that AI is going to come free of charge to business owners. You don't have this panel up over here, J-Dubs, on screen. All right, we can start the program. Judah Wickauer, when you are ready. Give us a quiet on the set and count us in.
Quiet on the set.
Good Tuesday afternoon, guys. I'm Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. It's great to connect with you on a cold and chilly Tuesday afternoon in downtown Charlottesville, where we continue to have a mountain of ice outside on Market Street right in front of our studio. Today's show is a good one. We have commentary that we think is going to be compelling and, frankly speaking, commentary that's going to turn into news with legacy media. One of the things you may realize while watching the I Love CVille show is a lot of the topics we talk about on Monday and Tuesday translate into news with old media on Thursday and Friday. I think two topics in particular are, in fact, I think the entire rundown is going to turn into legacy media commentary or legacy media fodder for their news cycles. We're going to talk on today's show why there's no one else that has made an announcement for Charlottesville City Council. You have two incumbents, and they are imposing political figures, not imposing in an aggressive nature, but imposing in that they're almost institutional in nature, household in nature, and that's Juan Diego Wade, the most institutional and household of them all. From his time on the school board to his time working for Albemarle County, to his time as vice mayor and mayor in his first term, Juan Diego Wade is a household name. His colleague, Brian Pinkston, they're running on a ticket together. They ran on a ticket the first time, is also running for re-election. I'm going to ask you, the viewer and listener, this question. Are we going to have a Charlottesville City Council race where only two candidates, the incumbents, are options to vote for? And what fun is that? Where's the democracy in that? And speaking of local government, why has the Albemarle County Republican Party not made a splashy media announcement with who their interim chairperson is? Remember, the interim chair was voted for this past Saturday in an election that was a I don't want to call it a surprise or a rushed election, but I don't think a lot of people anticipated John Lowry announcing a surprise resignation prior to the end of his term, which runs into the spring of 2026. So the old guard within the Albemarle County Republican Party, Nancy Muir leading the charge, they put a call to action through their newsletter and said, look, we need to vote an interim chair. I suggested Jamie Bogdanovich. Not sure if she got voted or not. I'm sure Philip Hamilton and Steve Harvey thought about that chair role for the Albemarle County Republican Party. But the better question is, why has an announcement not been made? You have to work with the media to get what you want from a politics standpoint. And look at how Juan Wade and Brian Pinkston have worked with the media. They made a splashy announcement in front of this free speech wall that they were going to run for re-election. They did it as a ticket. They put their hands in the air together, and they've been campaigning as a team, and the media has rallied around it. Hell, look at how Trump has won the presidency for a second term. He understood the concept of making the new and old media rounds, spending time with Joe Rogan. Kamala Harris, in a lot of ways, lost the election with her lack of media savvy and prowess. So I'm going to have a call to action. A, for the Albemarle County Republican Party, have you made an announcement of who your interim chair is going to be? If so, make it known, please. My second call to action, Charlottesville City residents, someone jump in the mix and run against Juan Diego Wade and Brian Pinkston. As Neil Williamson says, competitive elections or contested elections are much better elections for our community. We'll talk on today's program two new businesses that are set to open later this year. And Judah, yes, Dennis Cantinen was at the inauguration last year, getting his groove on. Getting at the inauguration yesterday, he says. He asked if you were at the inauguration, and is that why we had no show? Were you getting your groove on at the inauguration? I'll let Judah answer that question. But we have two new businesses that are set to open later this year. Rock Revolution on Old Ivy Road. Very excited for this business. We'll give you a little intel from their website. And CVille Smash, excited for this business to open an indoor pickleball facility in the old Marshall's location. Maybe the who, what, when, where, why for two businesses that I think are going to have a very positive impact on our community. We want to remind the viewers and listeners of our Fine and Fair talk show that tomorrow at 12:30, Mitchell Corte via Skype on the I Love CVille show, Executive Vice President for Development with Subtex, the firm that is building a monstrosity of an apartment complex. And I don't want to say monstrosity with a bad... Does a monstrosity have negative connotex?
Yes.
How about a extremely large apartment complex? Just under 500 apartments, more than 29,000 square feet, 1,332 beds. I mean, that is going to have a significant impact on Charlottesville and Albemarle County. When this project is finished and you have more than 729,000 total square feet in the shadows of Scott Stadium, more than 463 apartments, and 1,332 beds, that's going to have an impact from a rental standpoint with landlords that are currently in the game and the units they choose to rent, having an additional 1,300 units to compete with. Combine this with the fact that the University of Virginia is pushing second years to live on grounds, and you're going to lose a big portion of the tenant base, second years living in university housing, and then you're going to have significantly more competition in the multifamily ecosystem. I want to talk about that on today's program. I want to talk Goldman Sachs basically saying, employees, get ready. Artificial intelligence is coming for your jobs. Goldman Sachs is rolling out a generative AI assistant for its bankers, traders, and asset managers. The first stage in the evolution of a program that will eventually take on the traits of a seasoned Goldman employee. This according to Chief Information Officer Marco Argenti. The bank has released a program called GS AI Assistant to about 10,000 employees so far, with the goal that all the company's knowledge workers will have it this year. The AI assistant becomes really like talking to another Goldman Sachs employee, the Chief Information Officer has said. Look, if Goldman Sachs and other banks like JP Morgan Chase and Morgan Stanley, three of the world's top investment banks, are aggressively rolling out artificial intelligence tools to their workforce, this is happening at the top of the workforce triangle or pyramid. That is going to trickle down to mom and pops and small businesses eventually. And if you're not on your P's and Q's and your A+ game, the internet, technology, artificial intelligence will replace you, especially if you're doing tasks like administrative and project management work. We'll talk about that on today's program. I also want to highlight the fact that Virginia basketball's got the Boston College Eagles at the John Paul Jones Arena tonight. It's a 7 o'clock tip, ACC Network. Both teams are 1-6 in ACC play, and UVA is 8-10 overall. And speaking of the University of Virginia, this happened about 45 minutes ago. UVA secured a defensive end commitment from Ohio State. Yes, you heard me correctly. Mitchell Melton, a defensive end backup from Ohio State, will commit to UVA, has committed to UVA. He's going to come through the transfer portal. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. He played in the national championship game yesterday against Notre Dame. Played in the game. And today, he is announcing his commitment to the University of Virginia via the transfer portal. I'm sure securing a bag of money for his final year of eligibility. It's a brave new world, college athletics. A brave new world where the University of Virginia in December signs its athletic director, Carla Williams, to a 5-year contract extension and gives her a 29% raise, where she can start earning north of $1.7 million a year, and doesn't even announce to the fan base that the athletic director was extended a contract. Wow. So much to cover on today's program. I want to weave Judah Wickhauer in on first the studio camera, then a two-shot. We'll get ready to give Charlottesville Sanitary Supply some props. Bill McChesney, your comments coming in. I got radio and television already watching us right now, and at least one print reporter. Is it print anymore? I think it's print. Judah Wickhauer, topic that most intrigues you, either on the rundown or not on the rundown. What's on your brain, my friend?
I'm excited for the new rock gym. I love me some rock climbing, and like you said, having more activities available for young people is great for the area.
Rock Revolution, Old Ivy Road. Modern amenities for every level of climber. 16-foot bouldering walls, trading equipment to lounge with high-speed internet, free coffee, a welcoming space to improve your skills, and some competition for Rocky Top and Woodard Plaza, McIntyre Plaza, behind CVille Coffee. I'll talk about this opening later this year, as will CVille Smash and the old Marshall's location. Sports bar meets indoor pickleball facility. I'm going to ask the viewers and listeners this question. Are sporting businesses tied to experiences like sports, pickleball, rock climbing, are they what is best positioned to fill the many vacant, large office buildings and retail storefronts that are in abundance in Charlottesville, Albemarle County? Rose's announces its closing in March. The store is discounting everything. You have a discount store doing deeper discounts for merchandise that didn't sell well at other retailers. The Pantop Shopping Center, where the Lazy Parrot and the Food Line is located, what's the name of that shopping center? Is that the Pantop Shopping Center? Or is the Pantop Shopping Center the giant shopping center at the top of Pantop's Mountain? That's a great question for the Queen of Keswick, Olivia Branch, if she's watching the program. Which of the two is the Pantop Shopping Center? What is the shopping center where the Lazy Parrot is located? What I would do if I were you there, Truda, is I would Google Lazy Parrot Grill. I bet you I can find this in 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's in Pantop Shopping Center.
Pantop Shopping Center?
Yeah.
Once Rose's is gone, what happens to the Pantop Shopping Center? Name 3 businesses not named Rose's. Okay, I'll name 2 businesses not named Rose's, Food Line, or Lazy Parrot in the Pantop Shopping Center.
Let's see. There's the ABC store.
That's one.
There's, let's see. There's the Salvadoran restaurant. I'm spacing on the name.
There's my point.
There's the donut place. There's
no names for either of these places. Food Lion, Lazy Parrot. You did get the ABC store.
Hangry Hut.
Hangry Hut. Those signs around the area that are hilarious with misspellings. Is it Hangry Hut that's got the misspellings in those signs that are posted in medians throughout Charlottesville and Albemarle County? Like they misspelled the word salad in some of those signs?
Really?
I think it's Hangry Hut.
I don't know if I've seen those.
What happens to the Pantop Shopping Center once Rose's disappears? What will become of those empty, massive storefronts? I know Deep Throat's got some ideas. He and I have talked back and forth on this topic here. Will sporting businesses replace or fill these vacant, massive retail storefronts? I want to talk about that on today's program. The lead of the show, and before we get to the lead, we'll give some love to our friends at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. John and Andrew Vermillion, Judah Wickhauer, 60-plus years in business, online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. Any of your sanitary supply needs, visit Charlottesville Sanitary Supply on East High Street. Parking right in front of the building. Free delivery, guys, within the market. Andrew and John Vermillion at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply are doing amazing things. Curtis Shaver highlights the karate gym. Jay Wyant, the Titan of Troy, the gentleman farmer, highlights Enterprise. Bill McChesney also highlights Enterprise car rental.
Are they still there?
Enterprise is still there. I was going to rattle off Hangry Hut. I was going to rattle off the Enterprise. I did not think of the karate gym. I believe there's multiple hair salon stores, like stores that sell hair salon product or beauty products over there. I think there may be a financial advisor over there. Bill McChesney says there's a vet office. But it's a struggling shopping center nevertheless, right? I mean, the biggest draw in that shopping center outside of Food Line may be the Lazy Parrot Grill from a foot traffic standpoint. It's either the Lazy Parrot or the ABC. What Kevin Kirby has done and Cassie Kirby have done with the Lazy Parrot Grill and that shopping center, when at one time they had 2 Lazy Parrots in that shopping center. The OG Lazy Parrot in the middle of the shopping center, and then he built the new guard Lazy Parrot at the end cap. And then he consolidated the old guard into the end cap. And he's completely remodeled the Lazy Parrot end cap. He's improved the outdoor amenities, where there's cornhole, there's an outdoor patio. I believe he's got like some of those standing electric fire warmers going on. That's not the technical term, obviously. And he's got televisions everywhere. He's really built a destination, Kevin and Cassie Kirby have done. Maria Marshall Barnes, Don Flores relocated there. Hallmark closed Titan of Troy, Jay Wyatt, and it's been vacant for some time. You'll go over to Lazy Parrot for a shot of Jaeger and a couple of IPAs and maybe a Cassie Delight with some waffle fries, and you'll notice that the Hallmark is closed. It was the Smoky Parrot Titan of Troy, the Gentleman Farmer. You're exactly right. Back in the day when I was first launching this business about 10 or 11 years ago, this is where I first met Curtis Shaver, Dirty Curtis Shaver. I was hosting I Love CVille trivia over there. This is where I first met Judah Wickower. Judah Wickower was coming to trivia at the Lazy Parrot. Should I tell him the how we met story? Judah Wickower?
Sure.
We found out the other day, how long have you worked for the firm? It was 14 years when you collected your first paycheck with I Love CVille and V&V Brands. 14 years ago.
Technically speaking.
14 years before I met Judah Wickower.
Is the best kind of correct.
Which is technically, you collected a paycheck for the first time 14 years ago from V&V Brands. That's what I said.
Okay.
Your first paycheck that you collected from the firm was 14 years ago, right?
Sure.
Right. So that is not technically, that's accurately speaking. So more than 14 years ago, I see this man sitting at a table wearing a button-down sweater and a scarf, perhaps much like you see today, smoking a Camel. Was it Camel Reds you were smoking then, or Camel Lights?
I don't think it was Camel Reds.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Camel Reds.
Was it Camel Lights?
Could have been.
Smoking a Camel Light, at a half Jaeger in a shot glass, a Corona on a table as well. He had an iPad with a stylus in his hand, and he was doing graphic design on the Smoky Lazy Parrot on a table in the corner next to the bathrooms. I walked by to use the restroom. I'm hosting I Love CVille trivia at the time in the bar. At one time, we were doing trivia at 4 different bars, literally Charlottesville-based trivia in these bars. This is how we launched I Love CVille to get the word out. This is before social media was social media what it is today. We'd go to bars, me, this guy named the Man in Black, who dressed in all black. He looked like a poor man's Tom Selleck. He would bring in audio-visual equipment, and I'd ask 20 trivia questions tied to Charlottesville, like, where can you find wood-burning fireplaces in the city of Charlottesville? Where's the only escalator in the city of Charlottesville? Name all the counties that touch Albemarle County. It was the type of trivia question that you could not cheat and use your iPhone and figure out correctly or quickly the answer. And we were spreading the buzz that was I Love CVille by doing grassroots advertising while getting paid for it by the bars, and had a beer tab and a food tab. It was awesome. Like 14 years ago, a single man, young and ready to get after it. Now I'm married and have kids. See Judah Wickower sitting at a table, half Jaeger shot glass and a Corona, working on a iPad with a stylus, doing ridiculous graphic design, and I'm like, hey, I got an idea for a business. Do you want a shot at designing the logo for it? And that business was a discount deal site called Catch My Fire that I ended up selling in a 5-figure transaction. You designed the logo for CatchMyFire.com, a logo that ended up representing a business that transacted with a different buyer that I sold. That was the first business I ever sold as well. Catch My Fire. We met 15 years ago, Judah. The best 15 years of Judah's life. Look at his face right there. Can't you tell? The best 15, look at that. It's such a genuine smile. Best 15 years of his life. Curtis Shaver, that's right. I was peddling the best bars of CVille shirts at the same time as well. Bill McChesney says the Lloyd's Hallmark closed some time ago. There's a new Hallmark in Rio Hill. My wife and I and our 2 sons visited that Hallmark in Rio Hill and bought the Christmas tree ornament for our two boys. We're carrying on the tradition that my wife's parents and my parents did, where every year we buy our boys a Christmas tree ornament. This year we got it at the Hallmark in Rio Hill. Interestingly, the Hallmark in Rio Hill is not a Lloyd's. It's not a Lloyd's. Maria Marshall Barnes says the Dollar Tree is in that Pan-Top shopping center. A lot I want to cover on today's program. Yep. Vanessa Parkhill said, oh my God, I was just wondering the other day how you two met. This man was doing incredible graphic design, perhaps some, it never thought me the concern that you had a bucket of 6 Coronas and a half empty shot glass of Jägermeister sitting at a table by yourself while you're chain smoking Camel Lights. That did not worry me.
That sounds a little
That's extremely accurate, exactly what it was. It was 100% accurate what it was.
I cannot see me with a shot of something.
You were sipping the Jaeger.
Really?
You 100%. I commented to you of why you didn't rip that Jaeger, and then I looked at your graphic design and saw that you were doing incredible graphic design with a stylus on an iPad, and you had a bucket of Coronas in front of you, sitting at a table by yourself. That's literally what it was.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, this guy's got some talents. Maybe he can do the company logo. That's literally what happened. Jill was behind the bar at the Lazy Parrot. Now a fantastic transaction coordinator for the Denise Ramey real estate team. She's fabulous at what she does. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to today's headlines before we get back to the shopping centers and what could fill those vacant locations. Is anyone going to challenge Wade or Pinkston? Are Wade and Pinkston so imposing that no one is going to run against them? Is that what's going to happen? I got that question. Deep Throat, I'm going to get to your comments here in a matter of moments.
That's a good question. I don't know that anyone's exceedingly terrified of them. It may just be that nobody's ready to jump into the ring. And
an announcement would be made by now, or should be made by now.
You would think.
Especially if you're running against incumbents, especially when you're running in a Democratic stranglehold called the city of Charlottesville, where the primary in June determines the outcome of the race. If you're going to challenge these two guys, geez Louise.
You got to get started yesterday.
Geez Louise, bee's knees. Get started last year. Build name recognition.
May just be that nobody wants to jump up.
That's terribly unfortunate.
It is.
That's terribly unfortunate.
I agree with Neil that an uncontested race is no fun, and it doesn't do anything for an area.
Terribly unfortunate. Ginny Who's got commentary on those sporting businesses taking those vacant locations. I'll get to Ginny Who's commentary in a matter of moments. Deep Throat's commentary in a matter of moments. Somebody run. Somebody run. anything can happen. Anything can happen. And will a...
Not anything.
Anything could happen.
Like a Republican getting...
Trump's in the White House. Youngkin's in the governor's mansion. Right?
I'm not sure how that translates to a change in...
A lot of folks did anticipate
politics.
Trump was going to get in the White... Did you watch the inauguration yesterday?
No.
It was the who's who of business. Zuckerberg, Cook from Apple, Zuckerberg, Meta, Musk from all his companies, Bezos. What was Jeff Bezos' better half wearing yesterday? I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos' girlfriend wore a bra to the inauguration, a lacy white bra. Did you see?
No.
It's like the heir of the, what was the Seinfeld episode? Was it the O. Henry fortune in Seinfeld? Wasn't she walking down the street in a bra? The braless wonder distracts Kramer and Jerry in the car, causing Kramer to wreck while Jerry was sitting shotgun. She was walking down the street in a bra, the O. Henry heiress. Jeff Bezos' girlfriend was the O. Henry heiress yesterday at the inauguration, wearing a bra, literally standing next to Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, the richest, most powerful men in the world. Right in the middle of her was a bra-wearing Jeff Bezos better half. Did you guys see that, viewers and listeners? Did that not jump out to you as a bit odd, peculiar, curious. Conan Owen, no business owner would run as Republican in Charlottesville for fear of being boycott.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Veritas, I saw this on Reddit. Veritas Winery was asked to serve wine at the inauguration lunch. And the Redditors uncovered that Veritas was being served at the inauguration, and they were trying to rally other Redditors to boycott Veritas because of it. Make it make sense.
Disgusting behavior.
Make it make sense. You're asked to serve your wine in a pay-for-play scenario. You're a for-profit business, and a for-profit business is selling its wine to be served and enjoyed by the most influential people in the world. And the response from locals in our community is to somehow try to boycott the winery.
Yep.
Make it make sense.
Considering the fact that I that I learned about the term and what the term means, othering, from someone who works at what is it, Sarah, the sexual, I believe it's a sexual assault resource agency.
Okay.
Very, very liberal person who I learned about this from. It's amazing to me that almost every instance that I hear about, either in the news or around town, in fact, the person that was explaining it to me, explaining it to the group of people I was with, was the first person that I actively heard othering people. And it's amazing to me that it's one of those talking points that you hear from oftentimes left-leaning people. And then I hear about people actually engaging in the activity, and it's usually left-leaning people. And the act of othering is basically making other groups that you dislike out to be faceless enemies so that they're easier to attack, at least in your mind.
Ginny Hu, watching the program, he highlights, was it Senator Fetterman, who was in shorts and a hoodie at the inauguration. Literally was walking around in shorts and a hoodie. I think it was a Carhartt hoodie at the inauguration.
At least the inauguration wasn't outside.
It was too cold to be outside.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of temperatures, the wind chill tonight is going to put the temperatures below zero in the Charlottesville and Albemarle County and Central Virginia area. That's crazy. Fetterman looked like a buffoon yesterday. Who was more dressed inappropriately? The O. Henry heiress, Jeff Bezos' wife, wearing a lacy white lingerie bra.
She had a jacket on over it.
Oh, so you did watch some of the inauguration?
No, I just looked it up.
She did have a jacket on her. That's why I think she was dressed slightly more appropriately than Fetterman, who showed up in a Carhartt hoodie and camo shorts. Insane. That's a microcosm of 2025 America.
He's showing up for Middle America.
Is that what it is? Is that the play?
I don't know.
He's showing up for the working class of Pennsylvania. Is that the play?
Could be.
I mean, is that who was dressed more inappropriately? The white lacy bra wearing O. Henry heiress, Jeff Bezos' better half, or Fetterman in a Carhartt hoodie and camo shorts? Absolutely insane. Next topic, and I encourage all the viewers and listeners to, if you have a friend or family member that's considering running for politics, get them in the mix. And the Albemarle County Republican Party, can you make the interim chair announcement, please? I'm going to eventually spoil who the announcement is, but I think it's your position to make the announcement first. But I eventually am going to make the announcement. Lauren and Ivy says the First Lady looked like the Hamburglar. I think that's a nod to the hat that she was wearing. I thought the First Lady looked very classy, frankly, with her attire. Very classy. But one viewer and listener says that she looked like the Hamburglar at the inauguration. That actually got me laughing right there. I thought that was pretty funny. Next headline, Judah Wickower, what is it?
Oh, let's see. Best use for available Blue Moon Diner?
Keith Maupin. No, I don't think that's the next headline. We haven't covered the businesses that are opening. You're jumping ahead. Oh, actually, you're right. I stand corrected. Let's go with the Blue Moon Diner next. Keith Maupin says, the oligarch convention. Not sure if being well-dressed makes one a better person. Okay. As someone who loves to wear sports leisure wear every day, quarter zips, Lululemon, Roback. I'm wearing a Nike quarter zip. I'm wearing a hat. I love to wear quarter zips. I love to wear leisure wear. Okay, Charlottesville's a leisure wear type of town. Look around. You don't see people in suits and button-down shirts and ties unless they're getting ready for court. Outside of that, you don't see a lot of suit and ties and jackets. You see button-down shirts and jeans, a lot of leisure wear. Okay, and I want to clear up my commentary. I am not saying that what you dress makes someone a better person. But when you go to an inauguration that is seen by the entire world, what you dress, what you wear, what you choose to dress will be the fodder of judgment, whether fair or not. Especially if you're standing right next to Jeff Bezos and right in front of Elon Musk and right next to Mark Zuckerberg. And when you're wearing a lacy white bra, that is going to be a conversation point. Or if you're a senator and you come walking into the inauguration and you're wearing Carhartt hoodie, camo shorts, and Crocs for sandals. Okay? I love hoodies and camouflage shorts and Crocs.
He's not wearing Crocs.
Okay? But if you wear some Crocs and some camo shorts with some cargo camo shorts and a Carhartt hoodie that's got some tobacco juice stains on it, you're going to be topic fodder for conversation. Is what it is. Now, to the Blue Moon Diner. If you could put the lower third on screen. It continues to be for rent. And some would say it hasn't been available for that long. Right? But the point is we knew for an extended period of time prior to the closing of Blue Moon Diner that Blue Moon Diner was going to close. So there was a runway of interest for Blue Moon Diner before Blue Moon Diner closed because they made the announcement early that they were going to close. Now it's been through the holidays and into January. Okay? It's available. This is as prime an option for a restaurant as there is. Some would make the argument that the stretch on West Main Street from like the old Peloton station, shout out Dirty Curtis Shaver, the current Guajiros to Tavern and Grocery, some would say that stretch on West Main is the pinnacle of dining in the city. The only other stretch that can compete with that is the downtown mall. And you have West Main with Maya Restaurant, Continental Divide, with Guajiros,
Black Cow Chop House.
Black Cow Chop House, Public Fish and Oyster.
Yep.
Daniel Kaufman's got 2 in that stretch. Mexicali, Johnny Ornalis, big ups to Johnny Ornalis and River Hawkins. Tavern and Grocery. I mean, you got a bona fide stretch of fantastic food and beverage. And Blue Moon Diner, in a lot of ways, is an entry point or a gateway to that stretch. More importantly, Blue Moon Diner is a connector within the West Main streetscape, perhaps the most prominent connector. I want to ask you, the viewer and listener, this question. Along West Main, which I have said many times might be the most important or prominent or influential road in the city of Charlottesville. And people are like, see, Judas, you disagree? Look at that. Pick it apart like Thanksgiving turkey.
I'd like to
Pick it
hear
apart.
your explanation.
No. You frown. You disagree that it's I say West Main is the most influential, most important, most noteworthy gateway in the entire city, the entire Charlottesville city.
How is it a gateway?
How's it a gateway? Yeah. Judah, my friend, what does West Main do?
Connects to UVA.
It connects the University of Virginia to downtown Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Is there another road that connects the University of Virginia to downtown Charlottesville?
Probably. This is Charlottesville.
No, there's not. Give me one that connects the University of Virginia to downtown Charlottesville like West Main. It features Midtown, the UVA corner, the University of Virginia, and downtown, all on one road. I've seen that road in my 25 years. 25 years I'll be in this community this August. See many different faces or levels of condition. I've seen that road be on a city council agenda for months with Kathy Galvin and Heather Hill, former city councilors, pushing the West Main Streetscape project. And I've seen the Gillikin gang, the Livable Charlottesville Gillikin gang, say, what do you mean you're going to invest tens of millions of dollars into the West Main Streetscape project? What do you mean you're going to take free money from the Commonwealth and free money from the University of Virginia to improve this gateway? We want that money for school reconfiguration at Buford. And it eventually went that way. Mm-hmm. That road is the most influential of any gateway in the city. And Blue Moon Diner is, in a lot of ways, the trophy of that gateway. The only other trophy in that gateway, prominence-wise, institutionally wise, historically wise, maybe Peter Castiglione's Maya restaurant. Maybe. I'm not saying they're the best culinary wise. I'm saying legacy, prominence, location, stand out in the landscape, the streetscape, those two. This spot's been vacant for an extended period of time, and it's got a lot to offer. I mean, a lot to offer. You're talking 3,000, how many square feet did I say it was? It's on the rundown there? 3,123 square feet. Exactly right, Judah. 3,123 square feet. Multiple dining areas, a bar, an event room, a rooftop terrace. The hood is already in place for the kitchen. Incredible visibility on West Main. An apartment building right above it. It's proven to be successful, the location, with Blue Moon Diner's run. Before that, Bill McChesney, what was it before it was Blue Moon Diner? Help me out on that, Bill McChesney. What was it before it was Blue Moon Diner? It was another very iconic building and restaurant, another very iconic restaurant there. I guess my point is this. It continues to be vacant. What is the best use for Blue Moon Diner, Judah? And today's 2025, and I'm going to get to comments here. John Blair, I'm going to get to your comments here. Deep Throat, I'm going to get to your comments here in a matter of moments. And today's 2025 food and beverage landscape, what is the best use for it?
I would like to see it with an open front where people could just walk up, stick their head in a window, order something, and keep walking. Because I think I get what you're saying about West Main Street, but I don't feel it gets the use that it should. I feel like it should be there should be people walking up and down West Main Street all day long. But I don't see it.
I think in warmer weather there is.
I see people walking, but I just don't see it being as widely used as it could be.
I love that idea. A grab-and-go window.
Yeah, and I'd also like to see more like benches and seats along that road.
Love that idea.
Because who wants to walk? I wouldn't want to walk all the way from UVA to the downtown mall. It's not that far, but it just, I don't know, it feels bare.
I think
that entire stretch feels bare to me looking at it. You've either got tiny little sidewalks or you've got businesses, and there's not really. I don't really see. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a place where I would walk along and just take in the sights.
Excellent commentary from Judah Wickhauer. Those are the points Kathy Galvin and Heather Hill made. Improve the streetscape. Improve walkability, bikeability. Mm-hmm. Improve quality of life, improve lighting, aesthetic and design, and make it a more fluid connector between the university, the corner, Midtown, and the downtown mall. 100% agree. Mm-hmm. As for what restaurant should go there, one thing I'm confident should not go there is a model that's table service and heavy front of the house staff intensive.
Oh yeah, if I had my druthers, I'd maybe put Tacos Gomez there.
Even at the end, that's not a bad idea. Even at the end, now I would push back on that there's a lot of Hispanic and Latin and taco cuisine along that stretch.
Yeah, you've already got...
You got Mexicali over there. What's the one across the way?
Morisco's, Barco's El Morisco's.
Yeah, you have Continental Divide.
Yeah, further down.
Okay, so you already have a lot of Latin, Hispanic, taco, Mexican cuisine there. So Tacos Gomez entering that stretch would be somewhat competition.
I wouldn't see it being competition for Continental Divide is blocks further.
That entire stretch is blocks. From Hardywood to Blue Moon Diner, you're talking maybe 4 blocks.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't feel that way to me.
Just because the streetscape project never materialized. But really, that's like 4 blocks.
But if you had a place where you could just go up to a window and
A taco window.
that would be very different. Morisco's El Barco.
This is 3,100 square feet, though.
Morisco's El... Well, yeah, it would also have...
The taco window would have worked better in the old Rocket Coffee location. That the founder of that building, the Jeff Levine, the remodeler, the builder of that building, had a coffee shop there that he eventually turned into an art gallery for his better half. But there was a Rocket Coffee, a very small storefront that would have worked great for a taco window. 3,100 square feet.
You would also have seating inside. You could do other things as well if you wanted to. I don't really see it. Morisco's El Barco is, I mean, they're known for their soups and their seafoods, less so for their tacos. Anyways, I was just thinking out loud because they're a great place that does good fast service.
Bill McChesney said Gaslight Restaurant used to be there. There was a waffle shop before that, Kevin Yancey says, before it was Blue Moon Diner. And Kevin Yancey says, bring back Bluegrass Grill. I'm
Definitely.
curious to see what happens there. It's 3,100 square feet and one of the most prominent food and beverage locations in this marketplace. Mm-hmm. You can't ask for a better location there. Next headline, Judah Wickhauer. Is this Rock Revolution?
Yes, I believe so.
I am extremely excited for this. Deep Throat, we're going to get to your comments here with Rock Revolution. First, I'll give it the nitty-gritty. It's in the building that was home to what was formerly Pure Bar on Old Ivy Road.
Doesn't help.
Rock Revolution is hoping to open later this year. 16-foot bouldering walls, trading equipment, a lounge, high-speed internet, free coffee. The goal for the Kinnick family who owns Rock Revolution is to create a welcoming space to connect others with skills associated with the sport of rock climbing. Big plans for this location. This was previously an office building, previously home to Pure Bar, the gym. Now the entire building, a rock climbing business model. I love this. I think it's a fantastic location, close to St. Anne's Belfield, across the street from Boar's Head, by Farmington, close to the interstate, close to the bypass, along Ivy Road, far enough from Rocky Top that it's not on top of Rocky Top, but close enough to Rocky Top that it's going to take some of Rocky Top's customer base and make them members over at Rock Revolution off Old Ivy Road. This community is screaming, begging, yearning, hungry for a rock climbing model. You go to the place when the rock climbing wall was open at Dick's, it was always busy. And if Rock Revolution can open sooner than later, they can get even more market share as the public lands is closed down, as that wall has closed down at Dick's and will not reopen until October or November of this year when it becomes Dick's House of Sports. Not trying to throw shade at Rocky Top, but anyone who's been at Rocky Top knows that it's always crowded. Parking is difficult.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And it's a smidge dingy, dirty? Is that in the nicest way possible? I know it goes with the sport.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like a basement.
Feels like a basement, right?
It's a great place.
It's a great place.
It's a little bit small, and
parking's a nightmare. It's always busy and crowded.
Yeah.
This is going to crush it. Rock Revolution, the old Ivy Road, old media, traditional media, legacy media. This is a story you should cover. Another story you should cover as you rotate the lower third on screen. Old media, legacy media, traditional media is CVille Smash, opening in the old Marshall's location. I know the owners of Rock Revolution. I know the owners of CVille Smash. Saw the owners of CVille Smash at the Mill Room just before Christmas. They were very excited as we were chatting over a beverage of what was going to come. Pickleball courts, sports bar, membership, open play, pay by the hour, cater to pickleball enthusiasts and pickleball newbies. CVille Smash is going to crush it. And I ask this question. These massive storefronts, these massive retailers that are going out of business. Now Rose's Judah is going out of business.
Yep.
Big Lots going out of business.
That's a shame.
Right? More will continue to go out of business. As they do, will we see sporting business models replace them? What can you not do on the internet? You cannot, on the internet, go rock climbing or play pickleball. What can you do with the internet and with Amazon? Buy every item on the shelf at Rose's. Buy every item on the shelf at Big Lots. Buy every item on the shelf at Kmart. Buy every item at the shelf on public lands or Field and Stream or Dick's. All those items you can buy on the shelf, you can buy on the internet. Last I checked, you couldn't climb a 16-foot bouldering wall on Amazon. Or you couldn't play 5 sets of pickleball on Amazon.
You're going to give people ideas.
Look at what Dick's Sporting Goods has done. We want to create an omni-experiential retail shopping experience by building at Dick's House of Sports a soccer goal, a track to run on, batting cages, golf simulators, and a new and improved rock climbing wall. They want people to go into their 100,000 square foot store and play sports, to try on the retail items and use them on the equipment they provide. It's effing genius. I think it's a great idea that Dick's is doing. Now they have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Rose's clearly did not. Big Lots clearly did not. Kmart clearly did not. A lot of people watching this program right now. I'm getting texts left and right, including from one of the owners here. I love it. They appreciate the props. This is a Curtis Shaver question. If Curtis is still watching this question, I'll ask this. Who is going to build the disc golf course inside? Deep Throat, I'm coming to you now. Disc golf. A 9-hole disc golf course inside one of these massive retailers that are vacant. Who's going to do that? Deep Throat. Someone has to open an indoor airsoft arena. How about the empty Big Lots? The beauty is that you don't need to put much in there, just space with some obstacles for cover. A new one of these just opened in Richmond. He said, obviously, I'm stoked for Rock Revolution. High Voice, his son, is an avid climber, and he has to go to Richmond for his climbing. Rocky Top is simply overcrowded and shabby, so we have to go elsewhere. Deep Throat also says, I can tell you that I and some other neighbors hunted for potential candidates, and no one wanted to run for council. Who wants that job? Pain in the butt, low pay, and staff just runs over council anyhow. Yeah. And then he throws some shade at CVille Reddit. The CVille Redditors that were throwing shade at Veritas for being part of the inauguration. Nice. John Blair on LinkedIn. JM, I'm sure you're seeing it with your kids. The rock climbing gym is a gold star pickup for the area. There are so many kids in the area who climb. Another location is huge for those parents and kids. As to sports filling retail vacancies, the area doesn't have true batting cages open to the public. That might be another idea. Great idea.
Yeah.
Golf simulator business. I know Carl Seelman's got Anytime Golf, backed by Scott Wagner, two friends of the program, Scott Wagner and Carl Seelman. Done a lot of business with those two guys. Golf simulator business, batting cage business, disc golf business, airsoft business, sports businesses in these massive empty buildings that would drive foot traffic to neighboring businesses in the shopping center. It doesn't just have to be Orange Theory. It doesn't have to be yoga studios. It doesn't have to be Pilates. It could be actual sports now. Laser tag. Rock Revolution and CVille Smash. Legacy media, old media, traditional media watching the program. You should cover this in your legacy news cycles. Bill McChesney says, disc golf sounds like a good fit for the vacant Fashion Square Mall. We broke the news of the leases, the certified mail that went out to the tenants at Fashion Square Mall, that they all had a vacant. As soon as that hit, that made it to Reddit and traditional media after we talked about it on the show. Vanessa Parkhill says, that's normal dress for Senator Fetterman. He is the Bill Belichick of the United States Congress. Props to him for visiting Mar-a-Lago. He said he doesn't just represent Democrats, he represents all citizens in PA despite his attire. Give him props for that approach.
No doubt.
Okay, is the props we give him for staying true to who he is? Is that the props, right? Is that what we're doing? We give him props for staying true to who he is?
You mean by wearing what he was wearing?
Ginny Who says, one of the most difficult tasks for those sporting businesses is going to be the price point. Yes, activities for kids are great, but will the cost for families be one they are willing to pay while also meeting the business's needs? It's a great comment.
Yeah.
She says, the O. Henry heiress standing next to Jeff Bezos. She really is not the O. Henry heiress. That's my words. It's a reference to Seinfeld right there. But she caught the eye of Zuck, that's for sure. She caught everyone's eye. She's wearing a lacy white bra covered by a jacket on inauguration for the world to see. And maybe that was her intent. Perhaps that's her intent. That's what she wanted to do, right?
I have to think that a lot of those people are extremely out of touch with the reality the rest of us live.
Of course they are. She's sleeping with Jeff Bezos.
And she's got all that O. Henry money.
Zing. Well done, Judah Wickauer. Keith Maupin, I remember a Safeway. There used to be real stores and services there. When they tore down the back alley disc and killed the old trees, that was the beginning of some unwelcome changes. That was before my time. I would need a little more reference to that, although I know some viewers probably appreciate that comment. Kevin Yancey says, these ideas are great for 3 to 4 cold months, but come spring, they aren't going to go there. Time will tell. Time will tell, Kevin Yancey. I will tell you, 3 of the sporting activities that this community loves that are underserved. Bouldering and rock climbing is one. Pickleball is another one.
You still think pickleball is underserved here?
Pickleball is taking over tennis in Central Virginia. Pickleball is easier to play than tennis.
Yeah.
The ball moves slower. The court is smaller. You have to cover less court. There is still shot making. There's less risk of injury. There's more action. There's less chasing balls. The pickleball courts are going to take over Dart and Towels, those tennis courts. And a sports bar meets pickleball, that will work. That will work. Now, will 2 of them work is the question. I'm not sure 2 of them will work. I had this conversation on Friday. I'm not going to say with who. A second one's being percolated. Don't think 2 of them would work. The Rock Revolution concept, that location is brilliant. Whoever picked that location, genius idea. Because you're right on Ivy Road by Farmington, Boar's Head. That stretch of Ivy is extremely deep-pocketed, and you're still close to the bypass in the interstate. Close proximity to the University of Virginia. Can take some competition from Rocky Top, some customers from Rocky Top, while also being distanced far enough away from Rocky Top. Brilliant spot. What's the next topic on the show? Good Lord, it's 1:30.
Next up, Goldman Sachs.
All right, I'm going to spend about 90 seconds on this. This is Goldman Sachs, along with JP Morgan Chase and Morgan Stanley, which are three of the world's top investment banks, are aggressively integrating AI into their workforce to the point where bankers are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence in the very near future. Goldman Sachs is rolling out a generative AI assistant for its bankers, traders, and asset managers. This is the first stage in the evolution of a program that will eventually take on the traits of a seasoned Goldman Sachs employee. This is my words now. Why would Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan Chase pay Ivy League graduates, Ivy League MBAs, Darden School MBAs, $250,000, $300,000 a year plus bonuses, when artificial intelligence can do 90% plus of their job? And this is at a very sophisticated and high level investment banking. Mm-hmm. The people that are doing, I sincerely mean this, okay? I'm reading the tea leaves. The people that are doing email response, project management, that are doing middle management activities are very close to being on the cusp to being completely replaced by artificial intelligence. Keith Smith is writing a lot of his emails with ChatGPT and openly talks about it on the show. Mm-hmm. AI, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, we're in the first inning of this. Imagine when we get to the second and third inning. And what is that going to do to the workforce? Yeah. What are the workers going to do? You could pay $19.95 a month for a subscription. It'll respond to your entire email inbox, manage your scheduling. I mean, $19.95. I say this because if you're doing this type of work and you're 50 and under, you better show some value proposition immediately, because it's happening at the top of the pyramid and it's only going to start trickling down. This CNBC article says global investment banks may shed as many as 200,000 jobs in the next couple years as the companies implement AI, according to a report from Bloomberg. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Next headline. What do you got, Wickauer? Is this subtext?
Verve.
All right. Tomorrow, is it Mitch Corte?
Yeah.
Mitch Corte is on the program. Executive Vice President of Development. His firm, Subtext, building a 729,000 square foot residential and commercial. I mean, they're basically building a neighborhood. 463 apartments and 1,332 beds. They're building a neighborhood on Stadium Road, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, would you call 463 homes and 1,332 beds? I'd call that a neighborhood, right?
Oh, yeah.
Plus the commercial storefront space. I drove by it today. It's going to completely change Charlottesville and Albemarle County. And it's going to come on market at a time when second years are going to start living on grounds. Be required.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's interview is at 12:30 with Mitchell Corte, the Executive Vice President of Development. Mark your calendar. And I'll close the program with this. Boston College, UVA tonight, 7 o'clock, ACC Network. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watch the Jerry and Jerry show, you realize that this is a must-win game for Virginia. And remember, the bottom three teams of the Atlantic Coast Conference do not make the ACC tournament. 3 teams will not make the ACC tournament from the Atlantic Coast Conference. UVA and Boston College are both 1-6. Whoever loses this game is going to be one of the 3 teams not in the ACC. Only Miami is behind UVA with 0 wins. UVA is in second to last place in the ACC, folks. Oof. This is critical for Virginia if they want to make the ACC tournament. It's the Tuesday edition of the I Love CVille show. Mark your calendar for 12:30 tomorrow. We will be talking with the Executive Vice President of Development, Mitch Corte, and we'll have legacy media watching our show to utilize for their news cycles. For Judah Wickower, I'm Jerry Miller. So long.